Thank you for joining me. I'm attorney Amanda Schaefer with the latest news on the Sophie Turner, Joe Jonas child custody and divorce battle. Yesterday, the parties appeared in the New York court in the Southern District of New York, and we'll talk about what is going on. So, first thing, mediation. Parties have agreed that they are going to take 4 days starting today and try to mediate all of the issues in their divorce. So that includes the custody issue, the passport issue, child support, uh, equitable distribution, which is splitting up the marital assets. I don't believe they had a prenup. Um, Actually, I have no idea. But assuming they don't have a prenup, and any maintenance, I don't think they will need maintenance or alimony. But essentially, all of the issues they are trying to mediate. In Florida, I was able to get a little more confirmation, and granted, not from the best sources because I can't read the actual documents, that it does appear the motion to dismiss filed by Turner in Florida was for what I had said the other day, which was that Florida shouldn't have jurisdiction over the divorce. England should, so she moved to dismiss on that ground. The New York court scheduled a trial for January 2nd, 2024. Now, this is why it's important not to believe everything you read in the media. Because if you read a lot of the articles, it sounds like their New York court is deciding custody after a trial on January 2nd, 2024. That is not what they're deciding. All the New York court is deciding is if Florida or England is the children's place of habitual residence or their home state. And once that is decided, the New York case will be over. And Florida or England, whichever New York decides, will then decide the issue of custody and any other issues. Now, we might not get to that if the parties are able to settle during this 4-day intensive mediation that they're going through. Then all these issues will be decided and the cases will end up being withdrawn. I'm not sure if they were planning to file the divorce in New York, but I think that is part of the mediation. So currently the kids are still with Turner in New York. They're staying in Taylor Swift's townhouse. I'm sure it's very nice. And they're going to remain there until there's a further order from the court or they have the trial and they decide where the habitual residence is. Both parties have unfettered access to the children, and apparently Jonas is in New York and he's seeing the kids as well. Now, if you just wanted an update on the case, then you can go ahead and end your session here. If you want to know a little bit more about the difference between litigation and mediation, allow me to inform you. So, what is the difference? Well, you have a choice between trying mediation or going straight to litigation. There are many reasons why I'd want to do one or another. So, I have this nice little chart here. For litigation, it's definitely more adversarial. You have opposing parties, you have a judge, it can get nasty. Mediation is non-adversarial. It's more of a collaborative effort focusing on shared intent, shared goals. In litigation, you have a judge presiding over the case. This is a neutral party, but this is not a person who's focusing on reaching shared and common goals. Although that's part of it, the judge's role is to make sure that everything is fair, things are proceeding along, preside over the trial, etc. So they're an objective third party in a sense, but they're not. Their role isn't to mediate or negotiate between the two sides. They just kind of push you towards settlement, even if the terms aren't great. Whereas in mediation, you have a neutral third party mediator, and that person usually is an attorney. He or she doesn't have to be. Highly recommend that you use a mediator that is an attorney, and that even if you do, you have a review attorney review the agreement, because if you are able to enter into a settlement agreement and mediation, you want to make sure it's enforceable. Otherwise, you have just wasted all your time. So, neutral third-party mediator in this case, usually parties don't have attorneys during the mediation. They can. Those attorneys cannot also litigate for you if you end up in litigation. So, because it's not about you have your lawyer just fighting for what's in your best interest and their lawyer fighting for their best interest. You have someone that's trying to find what's in your both best interest and helps with the negotiation. Another big difference, when you litigate, you got to go to court. Maybe you get lucky in a virtual court, but contested divorces, you're going to be in court. Mediation, it's not court at all. It's a conference room where you're sitting down with that neutral third party, your soon to be ex, and you're allowed to have other people if you want, where you both consent. Like I said, you can have an attorney, but not necessary. Litigation is involuntary, whereas mediation is voluntary. What I mean is, you don't have to do mediation. You can go straight to litigation if you want to get divorced. Mediation, both sides have to agree to do. And there are fees involved. You do have to pay the mediator. And if you have an attorney present, you would be paying the attorney too. Litigation is involuntary. Litigation is where you end up if mediation fails. Litigation is also where you end up if negotiations fail. And you don't need both parties to consent to get a divorce to end up in litigation for the divorce. Plaintiff, whoever plaintiff is, files for divorce in court. You, as the other spouse, you don't have a choice. You have to deal with it. If you don't, a default order will be entered against you and it will govern. Litigation tends to be much more expensive than mediation. The only exception here is if you end up not working out a settlement during mediation and you have to go to litigation. Now you're paying for mediation plus litigation. The other time is if you end up with an agreement that a judge says is unenforceable. Now you got to pay attorneys to fix it for you or possibly litigate. And finally, another important difference between the two, litigation tends to go on for a lot longer than mediation, which tends to be very quick. And this is a great example. The parties in Jonas and Turner's case said, we're going to sit down for 4 days straight. We're going to try to work out every single issue and be done with it. If they're able to do that and they sign an agreement, then all they do is submit that to the court. They'll have to make one appearance to tell the judge that they agreed to everything, and the judge will then sign off on the divorce. Not right away, because they're very slow right now, but essentially that's how it works. Whereas litigation, you could enter into a settlement, but you got to go through everything. The pleadings portion, the discovery portion, the trial portion, the decision portion, possible appeals. So it can take a very long time. And this is, again, a good example of this case. You have this, quote, emergency situation where the children, there's no custody determination and they need to return to England, yet they do not even have a trial date until January 2nd. So these are all important things to think about when you're saying, should I litigate or mediate? That's it for today. A quick update. If you found this helpful, please like us, follow us, comment, share, save it. We appreciate it. And if you need any legal help in your divorce, child custody, child abduction, immigration matter, our contact information is on your screen now. I'll be back with another update, maybe before December if there is one. Otherwise, hopefully we'll find some information out in December and we'll provide an update then. Thanks for watching and have a great day.